North Korea, there is always considerable alarm around North Korea. However, we're now on the verge potentially of a historic summit between the American president and the leader of North Korea. What's your take on this, on the potential of this summit?
Well, touch wood wherever you can find it. Let's keep in mind there is history here. 3 American presidents, 3 South Korean presidents, and 3 North Korean leaders have had agreements that sound very much like what was just agreed between Kim Jong-un and President Moon of South Korea. The same kinds of commitments, and of course, in each case, those were all broken. Now, as Secretary Pompeo and National Security Advisor Bolton made very clear yesterday in different interviews, the U.S. is going into this with our eyes wide open. We know the history. We know that all the way back to 1992, the first of the agreements that was ultimately broken, and then more recently, as recent as 2012. They are insistent that there will be complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization. That is the criteria. Right. We've got to stay to that, not relax the maximum pressure campaign that has brought North Korea to the table with the help of China, because this has been a huge change in this particular situation, is that the rhetoric of the United States has gotten China's attention to the point that the country through which 90% of the trade to and from North Korea flows has done a good bit more about that, as we have also done more around the world to close down North Korean embassies through which front companies operate, to go after the illicit shipping companies and other front elements that North Korea has used to gain hard resources and to fund the lavish lifestyle of the leaders of North Korea, even as their people are starving.
Let's touch on Russia, a country that has forcefully returned to the world stage. You mentioned meddling in the United States election. What do you think President Putin is trying to accomplish, and what should U.S. policy toward Russia be right now?
Well, President Putin is trying to reassemble as much of the former Soviet Union, or say the Russian Empire, as he possibly can. He stated last century that the worst day of the previous century, in fact, was the dissolution of the Soviet Union. And he meant it. And perhaps the worst day in the history of mankind from his particular perspective. And he's trying to reestablish that in a variety of different ways. He's invaded 2 neighbors, Georgia and Ukraine. He's intimidated others. There are troops still on the soil of Moldova, hostile flybys and threatening actions against the Baltic states and various NATO countries. And of course, meddling in a very significant way, essentially propping up the murderous Bashar al-Assad in Syria at a time when he was truly teetering, providing the air power and special ops on the ground that were able to solidify his situation and then allow him to get back on the offensive. So Russia, again, is trying to stride the world stage. It particularly enjoys it when it can do it and poke the U.S. in the eye. And that's what he is all about. What should we be doing? We should be firm in our response. Not provocative, but certainly firm. And I think we generally get that now, and I think it's some of the actions recently in support of our Ukrainian partners, in support of various elements east of the Euphrates in Syria and so forth, have demonstrated that.